Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the PulseWave Report with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave Price Trigger Reports. All right, so tomorrow is Take Back Friday. It was a weird little week. We had the inauguration, we had MLK, so it was a shorter week. Just a lot of things. And the markets really didn't do a whole lot. So we're going to jump into it and just take a quick snapshot of where we are and where the markets may be headed. All right, so the first one we have up here is the E-mini S&P 500. What do you got? A narrow range inside day right here. All right, after the move up, so we hit a new high and then we pull back and retreated a bit, and that's pretty much what that is. Bulls are still in control of the market. Seems to be no correction in sight. What about the euro dollar on the forex side? Okay, same thing. Bears are in control here, except for they're trying to make a push here. We'll see if it's enough momentum to change the bias from a bearish bias to a bullish bias. But for right now, it looks like rallies are still being sold. So until that part stops, I still see this going in the same position it's going in, which is downward. What about the British pound, or should I say the Brexit forex pair? All right, so this one still bullish. Bulls are still in control of this market as well. Seems to be no correction in sight. Markets just want to go higher. I know it's hard to believe until you see it, right? If you didn't see it, you wouldn't believe it. How about the Illuminati index hack? Well, guess what? We got a crash alert on this one for tomorrow's trading, ladies and gentlemen. Trend line support down here around the $55 mark is the initial target. Let's see if we can finally get a market to have some sort of a correction, because we have not had it, ladies and gentlemen. We have pullbacks. We haven't had any corrections. All right, next on the list here, we have Ethereum. So here's Ethereum. We had the crash alert, and guess what? We got all this downside production from the crash alert. All right, so looks like the trend line support is the initial target down here, hovering around the 800 level. Bears are in control of that one. What about Litecoin? Well, here's your Litecoin right here. Here's the crash alert. Here's the downside production. Trend line support around the 115-ish level is the initial target on that one. What about the XRP Ripple? Well, on this one, you can see here's the crash alert. Here's that downside production. But overall, you're still in a trading range, a rather tight one at that. All right, so nothing really going on there. What about gold? What's up with the metals, right? What's up with the metals? Well, here's what happened. And this is kind of what I was concerned about. Here's your rally alert. Here's all this nice upside production, but you're at a very, very powerful resistance area right here between the top of the Kumo cloud and the trend line resistance. All right, so the market is struggling up in this area. All right, and the next resistance is 1900. All right, gold is having a lot of hard way to go to get to 1900. It's struggling. Will it get there? I don't know. It needs to get some momentum behind it. But right now, the bulls are back. They're in control of this one. All right, as the market has bounced from its low point. All right, getting back here, trying to do something. Looks like it wants to try to make another run to 1900. We'll see if it can do it or if it runs out of gas. That's a very good question, and only the market has the answer to that. Okay, next up we got the NASDAQ 100 futures. Okay, so this one also straight up, no pullback in sight, no correction in sight, just a runaway market. The bulls just want to push prices higher. This thing looks like it wants to go to 14,000. What can you do? What can you do? Nothing. Just got to ride the bull. What about crude oil? Any signs of slowing down here? Well, no. Here's your rally alert. Here's your upside production, the narrow range inside day. This market seems to like 53. It likes the $53 handle. Can you get the 55? That is the question. or are you going to roll over at this point? Again, that is a very good question. Right now, bulls have it, but it's just one of these things where I don't know. These markets are kind of like, flip-flopping all around the place, but nonetheless, there's just an upward trajectory. Upward trajectory, nothing really happened. You got little pullbacks along the way, but this market just wants to go higher. What can you say, right? All right, next up we have the Russell My Hustle. All right, so the Russell My Hustle, here's how this one's shaping up. All right, you're range bound, but the bears are still technically in control of the market because you're not pressing on the new highs or anything like that per se. It looks like every little rally you get is being sold off, and it's just moving sideways with a bearish bias. So it's looking like this one may roll over. You'll know that because the 2100 psychological floor will evaporate and the market will accelerate to 1950. All right, so very interesting things happening here now. All right, next up, what do we got? Next up, we got the silver. Here's your rally alert. Here's your upside production. This one's trying to make a run back toward 27, but does it have enough momentum to get there? I don't know. The volatility has been real. Look at these daily bars. These are some massive daily bars. Okay, so your guess is as good as mine. Does it have enough in it? Can it keep it moving? I don't know. I would like to think so, but this market's looking pretty vicious. And the only way you can really put the odds in your favor until the markets figure themselves out, especially when you start getting flip-floppage like this, is to catch the market at the beginning of the call. If you get a rally alert or a crash alert, you want to be in a position to catch it if it gives you the production. All right. That's what you have to do. All right. Because if not, then you put yourself in a situation where you're just chasing it. All right. Next up, what do we got? Next up, we got the Dow futures. And as you can see here, again, straight up. No turning back, just straight up. Right? Hitting new highs, but barely. You got a narrow range inside day. And this is very interesting to say. It's looking like you may get a surprise temporary top in some of these markets. Here's the Australian dollar. The bears are still in control of this one too. Every rally being sold. Trendline support down here around the 75-ish level. That looks like to be the initial target there. And last but not least, the mighty Bitcoin Futures Composite Index. All right, all the supports are still where they are, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Here's the top in the market. Here was the initial crash alert. Flip-flopped back to a rally alert. Got that last run. Then you got flip-flop again to a crash alert. Finally, the market gives you the downside production. Trend line support around the 26,000 level seems to be the target. You will note that that 26,000 trend line support level is above the 22,000 and the 20,000 key support zone. Okay, so if the 30 to 35 level is violated, you got your next support at the trend line support around 26,000. All right, and then of course your emergency support between 22 and 20,000 is you don't really want to see that taken out. Okay, or multiple closes. So it is where it is, and it is what it is. And not to mention, this is the Bitcoin Futures Composite Index, and you got a gap right here. So at any rate, you got to come down here to the trend line and back and fill this gap anyway. So this is where you're going to do it at. And I think the 22,000 to 20,000 support zone should hold. I really don't think that we should see any problems in Bitcoin at those key support areas that I've given you. I think the market is well aware of what it needs to do, and I think it's going to do it. It's going to hold those zones, and it will be what it's going to be. All right. All right. So let's see. This will be the last one. This is JNUG. I have a request for. All right. So JNUG has been, one of those markets. All right. It's a 3x ETF, prone to gaps. Okay. So right now you got a crash alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading for this one for JNUG. And it looks like it wants to come down here and probably test or take out this prior support zone, as bears are clearly in control of this one. Here was your initial crash alert back here around the 130 mark. And then you got all the way down here to 95-ish. And now you got another crash alert again. I think the next leg is going to be a pretty massive drop. So that is what you're seeing here on JNUG. Dex, why is JNUG doing that? Gold seems to be kind of holding its own, right? So I don't understand. Right? You don't understand. All right, well, that's because JNUG is a derivative of none other than GDX, right? Here's your GDX. Same identical chart pattern as your JNUG, and it should be because that's what the JNUG is a derivative of. Now, I know I hear someone out there saying, no, Dex, that's not, you're wrong. That's not true. It's not true at all. It's not GDX. It's the GDXJ. It's GDXJ, Dex, okay? It's not the same. You're not looking at the same charts. Got you. You're not looking at the same charts. Really? Okay, well, here's your GDXJ right here. Same chart. Same chart. Okay, JNUG is going to move based on your GDXJ. All right, GDXJ is going to be moving in unison with GDX. Okay, GDX, the big one, GDXJ is the small ones. So still in the same family. And because gold right now is not really breaking out and trending, it's kind of moving sideways to slightly bearish at the moment. That's not helping your GDXJ out. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so you got your marching orders. You know what this is. This is, like I said, this is why you need the PulseWave reports, man, because these reports are going to give you when these rally and crash alerts come. All right, they give you an idea when the market may be topping or bottoming so that you can get in there and make some points, okay? PulseWaveTrading.com. And remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And I'm out. Peace.